Good evening, everyone. This is Mike, and I'm back for a little bit of an update on some of the items I've been getting in the mail recently. Let's see. I I'm just getting over a nice little touch of the flu, so if my voice sounds strange and if I don't look any better than usual, it's because I've had a bad week. I've been sick it's Saturday night now, so I've been sick since last Saturday. I went out of town before Thanksgiving for a family Thanksgiving celebration. I was gone for 4 days. I had 4 days in which I played Uncle Mike, which is one of my fantasy characters that I play maybe 3 or 4 times a year, and then get back to my real life. So Uncle Mike was having a great time with the family and all these little kids, but the little kids were spreading microbes back and forth of their various illnesses, and I tried to dodge them all, but I got caught in the crossfire. So by the last day, which was Saturday morning, the day I had to drive home, I knew I was sick. So anyway, so I came home from the trip, got home later that day, and wanted to die. But the good thing that happened is that I had several days worth of mail crowding my mailbox, overflowing, and I had packages on the front step, which I'm very glad they were not stolen. But I got several things in the mail, DVDs that I had sent for, so I was very happy about that. And this week, when I haven't been coughing and sneezing, I've been watching a few of these things. So let me show you what I have. And okay, start off from oldies.com. I bought this complete series of Peter Gunn. How many people remember what Peter Gunn is? This was a great private eye TV series, black and white, between 1958 and 1961, 3 seasons, starring, what's his name? Yeah, Craig Stevens as Peter Gunn, a detective in LA who lives in this dark underworld. I think all of these episodes seem like everything is always filmed in the dark, and it's always accompanied by cool jazz and kind of a film noir atmosphere in each 30-minute episode. It's just a great TV show, and I love it. And let's see, Peter Gunn was played by Craig Stevens. We had Lola Albright was his girlfriend, Edie Hart, who was a singer in a jazz nightclub called Mother's. Mother was played by an actress named Hope Emerson, who was a great character actress, really unique. She was 6'2", and at one time she weighed around 230 pounds. She was just a tough, interesting character actress, and she unfortunately only was in the first season. She became ill, and she was replaced in the next season by an actress who was similar to her in appearance, but not nearly as tall. And her name was Minerva. Yes, yeah, Minerva Urical. That's not easy to say. Minerva Urical. And Lieutenant Jacoby was played by Herschel Bernardi. Now, he and Peter Gunn were very good friends, but they often locked horns over fine points of the law. And he wanted to do things by the book, where Peter Gunn wanted to be a little more impetuous. This was or impulsive, maybe that's the right word. Let's see. This was produced by Blake Edwards, who sometimes directed the episodes. And one of the best things about the series was the theme music was composed by Henry Mancini. Cool jazz music, some of the best jazz music you've ever heard or seen. And it also, the title theme became a big hit, and it spawned a couple of albums of music from Peter Gunn, which I actually was going to show you. I forgot to bring it over here, but I have one of the albums in my collection. So yeah, Peter Gunn was a great series, and I'm very happy to have it. Another box that I got is the Busby Berkeley Collection Volume 2. Now, Busby Berkeley, of course, was a musical director, dance director, and sometimes a film director who worked at Warner Brothers in the 1930s. Made a series of classic films which revolutionized the film musical, like 42nd Street, Dames, Footlight Parade, Gold Diggers of 1933, and Gold Diggers of 1935, which are all Gold Diggers. Yeah, I didn't pronounce that very well. Gold Diggers. It's the illness, folks. Gold Diggers of 1935, all of which are in the first volume. And this one has 4 films which are kind of lesser Busby Berkeley films, like Varsity Show, Gold Diggers in Paris, Gold Diggers of 1937, Dick Powell, Joan Blondell, Honeymoon Hotel, which is the best one. He directs one of these films, and he also does the music for the others. And they're still interesting to watch, although they're not quite as innovative and original as the first collection of films. But I'm very happy to have it. I also bought another Hammer film compilation, and I have several of these already. This one has, let's see, A Scream of Fear, which features Susan Strasberg, Christopher Lee. The Gorgon, which everybody knows has Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing, and Barbara Shelley. The Two Faces of Dr. Jekyll, and let's see, Stop Me Before I Kill, and Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. Now, some of these various Hammer sets, I have some of the others, and some of the titles tend to overlap from one set to another, so I now have at least 2 versions of Stop Me Before I Kill, which I've never even seen, and some of the other titles on the others overlap as well, but I'm not complaining. It's Hammer, folks. Also from television. The rest of these are television products. I got this kind of a limited compilation of performances from the Midnight Special, which is a great TV show back in, let's see, it started in 1970. Live music, terrific live music. It was on NBC every Friday night at midnight, starting in 1970, and went on for several years. And it's got people on here like Carlos Santana, Jim Croce, Van Morrison, Barry Manilow, Dolly Parton, Linda Ronstadt, Wild Cherry, George Benson, Steely Dan. I mean, I've watched a few of these, and I mean, there are other great artists that appeared on Midnight Special, and unfortunately they're not all on this. There are different compilations of the Midnight Special, and I wish they just put all the shows out in one gigantic collection or several, because I would buy them all. I really would. This also has comedy performances by people like Billy Crystal and George Carlin. It's funny, I used to watch this practically every week when it was on, and I remember the music, but I don't remember the comedy performances. Isn't that strange? This is a miniseries called Wayward Pines, starring Matt Dillon, and I remember watching the first episode of this. I made a point to watch it because I read about it or saw the preview, and I really like Matt Dillon. I think he's a great actor, one of our best and underrated actors. I watched the first episode, loved it, and then I completely lost track of it. I don't know what happened. I think I just lost track of when it was supposed to be on again. But this is, let's see, how many episodes are on this? Wayward Pines, A Place to Die For, 10-episode event from M. Night Shyamalan. And yeah, I'm looking forward to getting it. It's kind of a sort of a Twin Peaks idea, I guess, or Twin Peaks concept. So yeah, I'm glad I got that finally. Now, these other 2 are documentaries. This is one about the war in Vietnam, and from 1946 to 1975. And I want to know more about the war in Vietnam, and this was a terrific price, and I wasn't going to pass it up. It gives supposedly the full history, and there are so many things that we still don't know, and it depends on who you read about what the details are, what really happened, and why we really got involved in the war, etc., etc. So I'm interested in finding out what this documentary is going to tell me. And the last one, and some of you may laugh at this, and that's okay. I got these this nice little package. Documentaries about Her Majesty the Queen, celebrating her Diamond Jubilee, and 4 DVD collection. Let's see. It takes the history of the first DVD has the history of the Windsors, how the House of Saxe-Coburg-Gotha, and I know I'm pronouncing that badly, morphed into the English House of Windsor. And then the next one is about the king who saved the crown. That's the how King George VI took the throne after his brother Edward VIII abdicated in 1936. Of course, a lot of people already know the details of that story, but I'm glad to have it here on DVD. The next one is the coronation, and the last part is called The Queen, a Monarch for All Seasons. So I guess that brings us up to the present age. So I'm very happy to have this. So who else but me would be sitting here with this diverse group of things, starting off with Peter Gunn and ending with the Queen? What does that tell you about me? It tells you that my tastes are very eclectic and about as uncool as it could possibly get, but I don't care. This is who I am. Thanks for watching, folks, and comments are welcome.